Hi, welcome to today's video. Today we're going to talk about the best and simplest parenting advice that I have ever received. It's so simple that anyone can remember it and use it every day. It even reduces parental stress and anxiety. I mean, what more could you ask for, right? It's so good that I had to share it with you. It gets at the root of the parent-child relationship because it focuses on connection and understanding. It gives us a way to back up boundaries and natural consequences and avoid punishment. And it is actually the foundation for empathy, which, as you know, I call the superpower of relationships. It encompasses many of the concepts that I talk about in my work, specifically the stuff from Daniel J. Siegel about feeling felt, attachment theory, and good enough parenting. It boils all the parenting advice you've ever heard down into a single starting point. That way you aren't overwhelmed by the sheer amount of parenting advice that's out there that you get bombarded with. This advice is super important, and I promise I will share it in a minute. First, let me get through the rest of my introduction. My name, for those of you who don't know, is Matt Kenyon. I am a family relationship coach, a parent mentor, an adoptive parent, a student of psychology, owner of Freethought Coaching, and I help parents do what I did: end the conflict, build happily integrated families, and foster trust. I promise that there is always at least one tool, tip, or piece of advice that you can use immediately following watching my video. I am available for one-on-one coaching for you, the parent who's struggling with a teen or tween, or your teen who needs some help figuring out their path forward in life. Check out my website, freethoughtcoaching.com, to connect with me and get in on the community of parents like yourself. On the website, you can sign up for the email community and get a free gift, and you can join the Facebook community by clicking on the button at the top of the webpage. Okay, enough introduction. Let's get into this. What is this awesome advice, Matt? I am so glad you asked. So I was talking to my son's grandma, Alice, during a family trip recently, and I was catching up with her and filling her in on kind of some of the stuff that had been going on in our family. And I was telling her about some of the stressors that I was feeling, that I was under, and trying to meet these goals and demands on myself related to parenting my son, making sure that he was ready to be an adult, had a good education, that he was happy, that he was healthy, et cetera, et cetera. She stopped me. She looked me straight in the eye and she just said, "You need to just think of your job as just making sure he knows that he's loved." I was stunned. Here I was, a parenting expert who spends hours teaching people how to parent. And I had missed this one fundamental truth: that first and foremost, my job was not any of those stressors and stumbling blocks that I had placed in my way. Frankly, they were expectations. And you know how I feel about expectations. But I had missed this. I had missed the fundamental piece that was what I needed to be focused on when the rest gets overwhelming. Just making sure that he knew he was loved. I mean, the rest will all follow behind, right? You've heard me say before, connection over behavior. Well, I think the message here is love over everything. And you might be saying to yourself, okay, well, duh, Matt, why is this such a revelation? We know we need to love our kids. Okay, but do they know that they're loved? We're back to perception, right? Message sent versus message received. Let's say you're on a phone call with somebody and you have a bad connection. No matter how much you scream into the phone what you're trying to say or how many times you repeat yourself, the other person just isn't going to hear you. The same thing can be true here. Are your kids receiving that message of love? Are they internalizing that message of love and feeling loved? Feeling felt, as Daniel J. Siegel would say. One of the best ways to show this unconditional love is repair. One of my favorite quotes is that the relationship is more important than the break, whatever it is. This is a fundamental piece of repairing a relationship, is making sure that that child knows that that relationship is more important to you than whatever the break was that happened. This quote comes from John Balin and Daniel Hughes in their book, The Neurobiology of Attachment-Focused Therapy. This is why connection and love is so important. The connection forms the basis of the repair, and the repair in turn builds connection. The repair is the goal of the connection. Nobody is perfect and we all mess up, including our kids, including us. And we need to repair that as much as our kid does. And frankly, if you're sitting there thinking to yourself, it's too late, I've already done so much damage, it is never, ever too late to start repairing relationships, even if your kid's an adult. Because by focusing on this repair, we show a willingness to initiate repair is so important to the connection and makes them feel that love, that you went out of your way to try and initiate that repair. For many parents, I know shame gets in the way of repair. Feelings of shame, anger, frustration, and guilt, which frequently come up during ruptures in our relationships, and they take away our ability to be in the present moment and focus on the repair, which is so important, because repair starts with being in the present moment with acceptance and non-judgment of the feelings and actions that led to that rupture. We're not judging ourselves, we're not judging our kids, we're not judging the actions or the feelings or the thoughts. Wait until you've had a chance to completely cool off before initiating that repair. All right, another way to build that connection, build that love, and make sure your child knows that they're loved is through positive nonverbal communication, things like voice, eyes, and touch. Using these three communication tools, we can disarm a child's defense system and send messages of safety and love to the child, all of which engenders trust and builds that connection. These three pieces, voice, eyes, and touch, tone of voice, look in the eyes when we make eye contact, and gentle, loving touch. All three of these pieces work together to activate the social engagement system in the child's brain by using the natural oxytocin, opioid, and dopamine systems. All of this comes again from John Balin and Daniel Hughes in their 2016 book, Neurobiology of Attachment-Focused Therapy. And these systems that we've talked about here, the oxytocin, opioid, and dopamine systems, relieve pain, including emotional pain, because as Balin and Hughes point out, that emotional pain actually activates the same pain centers as physical pain. There is no difference to the brain. So we have to initiate that repair so that we can engage that social engagement system that reduces that feeling of pain. Finally, we can send messages of love and compassion to our kids in so many different ways, and all of these create healthy attachments. So by focusing on showing them that love and making sure that they know they're loved, we're creating healthy attachment, which makes parenting easier and builds felt safety so that our kids can feel confident and safe in themselves to take risks and take challenges in building their new life. So they aren't scared to take opportunities that come along. Another way that we can build that connection is by doing something that they enjoy. The sacrifice that you show to them by saying, hey kid, do you want to go see that music artist that you like? Shows them that it's not about the artist or the activity, but it's about them and you wanting to spend time with them. I want to point out that research shows that it's not enough to just have the same activity going on in the room, like watching a movie, if you're not both engaged in the same activity or movie, such as both of you being on your phones or even one of you being on your phone while watching a movie, quote unquote, together, doesn't actually have the same positive effect as actually putting the devices away and focusing on the movie together. Beyond them knowing that they are loved, which is so important, I mentioned before that this also has the ability to reduce parental stress and anxiety, because it lets us know that it's not love them and still hold on to all these stressors. It's just make sure that they feel loved first. Once that is done, then we can deal with the other stuff as it comes, as we feel comfortable, because they're not our focus. After they feel loved, we can take time and work on some of those other things, but we need to take the time to make sure that they know that they are loved first. Connected kids who feel loved are easier to parent. We have better outcomes and an easier time parenting those kids. It's easier to negotiate and hold boundaries and expectations with kids that know they're loved and aren't on the defense. The kids know you, they know your boundaries, and they know that no matter what they do, even when they mess up, you will love them unconditionally. This is also foundational to being an empathetic parent, because it's so much easier to be empathetic when you feel love and when they feel love back for you. Empathy is the superpower of relationships. It cannot be overlooked. Empathy, if you're not aware, is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another person. It's a key ingredient in strong family relationships, not just between parent and child, but between the parents and between the children. When family members are able to empathize with each other, they are more likely to be supportive, understanding, and forgiving and feel more connected. So just make sure that they feel loved above all else. Let the rest go, at least for now, and focus on making sure that that child knows that they are loved individually. In conclusion, the best and simplest advice for any parent, especially ones who are struggling with a teen, is just make sure they know they're loved. And the rest will follow. You'll bring along connection, understanding, empathy, and have less stress and anxiety. So next time when you feel overwhelmed by all that advice or all of the things that you're focusing on, focus on making sure your child is receiving the message of love that you are sending, and then you can focus on some of the other stuff. I really want to thank Grandma Alice for this piece of advice. If this advice was useful to you, give it a like or a comment to let Grandma Alice know the value that you found in it. If you are Grandma Alice and you're watching this, know that you're loved and appreciated. Thank you very, very much. Have a great day. Try to be the parent that your child needs today. And as always, happy parenting. Thanks for watching, everybody. I really do appreciate the love and support. Leave a comment down below with what in this video resonated with you. And if you haven't already, don't forget to like and subscribe. And hit that bell icon so you can get notified when I put out a new video. It really helps get these videos out to other parents like yourselves who need them. If you would like to join my Facebook community, Connected Parenting, where I have tons of other resources and a group of parents who are dealing with the same issues you are, the link is in the description. Have a great day. Be intentional about your parenting and attempt to be the parent your kid needs today. And as always, happy parenting.